Think about a modern royal event for a second. The balcony waves, maybe some polite applause, lots of confetti. It is like entirely ceremonial, and above all, it's safe.
Right, totally safe. But if you step into the world of an ancient Near Eastern king, that confetti is replaced by something legitimately terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are plunging into a single ancient text today to see how power was really projected back then.
Because, I mean, in the ancient world, power was never just a photo op. It was a brutal matter of survival.
Exactly. So we're looking at Psalm 21 from the English Standard Version of the Bible. It's attributed to David, directed to the choir master. And our mission today is to unpack the intense, honestly jarring duality of this
Yeah,
source.
it really swings back and forth.
It does. Half of it is this beautiful, ultimate royal celebration, and the other half is, well, it's a horrifying promise of destruction.
And that contrast is the whole point of the text. You really can't understand one half without the other.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with the celebration side, because the text opens sounding like the ultimate cosmic blank check.
Oh, absolutely. The king gets literally everything he asks for.
Right. The source says God gives him his heart's desire, a crown of fine gold. He asks for life. He gets unending days. But there's this fascinating footnote in the translation that I think completely changes the flavor of this.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
So the main text says, the king is made most blessed forever, but the footnote says it translates to the king becoming a source of blessing forever.
And what's fascinating here is that footnote highlights the core mechanism of ancient kingship in this worldview.
Yeah.
Like, notice what is completely missing from the text description of his stability.
His army.
Exactly. It doesn't mention his tactical brilliance, the size of his army, or his wealth. His legitimacy is entirely outsourced to a higher power.
Wow, outsourced.
Yeah, the text explicitly says he relies on the steadfast love of the Most High. So he's a source of blessing to his people precisely because he has that ultimate divine backing.
So he has complete security. It sounds so peaceful. Until the text takes a violently sharp turn.
The tonal whiplash is real.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The exact same divine protector handing out golden crowns suddenly turns into a literal executioner. We're talking about enemies being thrown into a blazing oven.
Yeah, swallowed in wrath, consumed by fire.
Right, and God is aiming a bow directly at their faces. It's so visceral.
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the imagery is designed to shock you. Because we tend to view safety as the absence of violence, right?
Sure, just quiet peace.
But in the ancient Near East, true safety meant having the ultimate overwhelming violence acting on your behalf. Think of it like an ancient version of nuclear deterrence.
I have to pause you there, though, because the text doesn't just describe defeating enemy combatants. It specifically says God will destroy the enemy's descendants and their offspring from among the children of man.
Yeah, that is a really tough part to read.
Defeating an army is one thing, but completely wiping out their children. That feels like an extreme overreaction, even for an ancient king. Like, what is the logic there?
It comes down to the mechanics of ancient blood feuds. In our modern legal framework, crimes are individual.
Right. You do the crime, you do the time.
Exactly. But in this ancient context, conflict was generational. If you defeat a rival but leave his heir alive, you aren't showing mercy.
You're just delaying the fight.
You are guaranteeing a war for your own grandchildren. An enemy who devises mischief against the king cannot simply be imprisoned.
Wow.
So for the king to actually have that unending, stable peace we saw at the beginning of the text, divine protection fundamentally requires eradicating the threat at its root.
So in this worldview, a God that isn't completely dangerous just simply isn't useful.
Exactly. And verse 13 actually locks these two themes together at the very end of the psalm.
Oh, how so?
The people don't just praise God for the wealth and the crowns, they explicitly sing and praise his sheer overwhelming power. The peace of the kingdom is directly predicated on the terror inflicted on its enemies.
That totally reframes how you read these ancient texts. They aren't just, comforting poetry to read before bed.
Definitely.
They're a stark window into a world where absolute security required absolute devastating force. So what does this all mean for you listening today? It really makes you evaluate our own desires.
It really does force a mirror up to us.
Yeah, because when you look at our modern craving for safety, we all want the eternal blessings and the peace,
Yeah.
but we recoil at the blazing oven required to guarantee it.
We want the results without the messy reality.
Exactly. It leaves you wondering, have our definitions of security actually evolved, or do we just prefer to hide the terrifying machinery of power behind confetti and polite applause?